Day 8. Lay the path. He let go of his wife's hand. He felt himself drifting downwards until his bare feet met stone. He opened his eyes to see a dark landscape swirling with purple flame on the horizon. Barren trees stood silent here and there, and he stood alone on a single slab in a sea of black sand. He cast his gaze to where the smoky sky met the land. Standing bright and shining was a large golden bird, dipping its head and rustling its feathers. Behind it was a studded black carriage with room for one. He couldn't be sure why, but he stepped forward. Before his foot met the sand, he was halted by a voice.
"Your myths are all wrong, traveller,"
came the words from a skeletal tree to his right. Not from the tree, but the white and black jester that stepped from behind it. There were full pom-poms dotted down his front, a black smile and teardrops painted onto his snowy face. He jingled with each movement.
"I'd stay where you are if I were you."
The man settled back onto his single stone.
"Have you any idea where you are?"
"The afterlife," said the traveller. The jester shrieked gleefully, turning a cartwheel in the sand but leaving no handprints.
"You have certainly passed from your world, but you cannot stay here."
"I wish to reach that carriage," the man said, raising a finger to the horizon. The jester was beside him and put an arm around his shoulder. It was cold.
"I know, but it's not so simple, dear one. Nothing comes for free, not in this world, that or the other."
He swooped an arm in its wide sleeve up in an arc from the ground, and a breeze ran ahead, suggesting a path through the glittering volcanic sand, all the way to the majestic bird. Grains drifted down in the purple light.
"You must lay the path if you wish to go beyond. No other can do it for you."
"How must I lay the path?" asked the traveller. The jester wheeled away again, whooping and cheering, behind a distant trunk. The man cast around for something that might be used to cross the sand. The trees were rooted, and he had no axe. His island of glassy stone was the only he could see. He looked up. He looked down. Behind him, the sand was humped slightly. With care, he knelt down and started to brush it aside with his hands. It tinkled. A few swipes revealed the mirrored surface of more stone. He gasped. He set to work finding the edges, undermining the buried slab. When he finally completed the perimeter, he stood back, and his heart sank. It was enormous. He didn't even know how deep it went.
"Looks rather heavy."
The jester was back.
"I would so dearly love to help, but—"
He looked at his hands, shrugged, and disappeared again. The traveller wiped sweat from his lip and tucked his fingers under one edge of the stone. He heaved, but it did not move. He adjusted his feet and tried again, but to no avail. He continued scooping sand out from underneath, throwing it away in clouds. Every now and then, he would try to move it again until, eventually, it shifted a fraction.
"Ha!"
he exclaimed.
"Ha, indeed,"
came the voice. He worked faster now, scooping, scrabbling. He planted his feet, bent his legs, and imagined the stone moving. He stood and felt the ground move away from him as he and his slab rose together. He raised his voice too in celebration as the stone went up on its end and fell next to the grave he had pulled it from. Another flip like that, he thought, and it would be at the beginning of the path.
"You may stop if you wish, dear one. It looks like awful work."
"But you said I can't stay here," said the man, catching his breath.
"No, you may not, but you don't have to go with my friend there either."
In the distance, the bird's keen eyes were on them. "There is another way?"
"Oh, yes, and quite remarkable it is too."
He dropped to all fours and blew into the sand. In front of him, shifting figures flickered in the grains. Small and faint, they seemed to be dancing and feasting.
"You have only to ask, and I will take you to a place where wine and song flow freely. Have you ever danced and wished that it never ceased? In this place, that wish is fulfilled. The most wonderful wassail that runs forever. Those who arrive in this place know nothing but pleasure."
The man looked between his one stone and the awaiting carriage. "Why would I not wish to choose your way?" he asked. The jester's smile disappeared, and he considered the traveller as keenly as the shining bird.
"You have asked the correct question."
He blew the sand again. Behind the revellers appeared more ghostly figures, bent double, rolling barrels and catching dancers who tripped and fell in their ecstasy.
"Nothing comes for free, not in this world, that or the other. Someone must bring the wine and song, and as more arrive, those who are already there must get to work. You know, I'd love to help, but—"
He swiped his arm through the tortured images, and they disappeared in a glittering puff. The traveller looked to the carriage in the distance before forcing himself back to his stone.
"The wine really is rather good,"
the jester said from somewhere. The man bent back down to the edge of his slab, placing himself on the opposite side of where he wished it to go. He braced his back and arms, reassured by his new knowledge of the stone's weight. He heaved, and the slab obeyed. He admired his first step.